What's up, fam? This is your boy ELJEFE, and today I'm here to talk to you about the Razer Opus THX Certified active noise canceling headphones. Now, if you're interested in picking these up for yourself, hit the links in the description box right down below, and this way you can get the latest updated pricing. Now, before we go any further, and for full disclosure, because I like having transparency and honesty with my viewers, Razer reached out to me. They went ahead and sent this sample over for my honest opinion and review. If this is your first time here, you're not familiar with the way that I do things on this channel. Whether I go out and buy the product myself or if a company sends it over to me for review, I'm always going to keep it 100% real with you and let you know whether or not they're worth your hard-earned money. Now, no money was exchanged between me and Razer in order to make this video, so they're going to be watching this video for the first time at the same time that you are. So first, let me give Razer some constructive criticism on these headphones, and then we'll move into the things that I do like about them. So first up, let's talk about the Razer Opus app. Now, they do have an app. You can find it in the App Store and you can find it in the Google Play Store. As far as this app is concerned, it gives you the ability to do firmware updates. It has, the user manual, also has a quick start guide, and you have some EQ presets built right into it. The best of which is going to be that THX certified sound. Obviously, it's going to be the best one. It sounds the best as far as that's concerned. And that's actually the default sound for these headphones when you first pull them out of the box. Now, they have like an amplified and like a vocal boost and like a bass boost. The problem with those other preset settings is that they reduce the overall volume of the headphones and it just doesn't sound good. Like, you can turn them up to max volume and it's just not enough. So for the most part, those other presets are pretty much useless. Now, that brings me to my second point, where I wish that they would have included something like a graphic equalizer. So a 5-band, 10-band, something that'll give us a little more granular control over the sound quality of these headphones. Something that'll give us the ability to really customize the sound to something that's more pleasing to our own ears. So that would have been really nice to see. If we could have one or two user profiles that we can save for ourselves and then set them as a default for the headphone, even better. Now, the other thing they could have done is they could have added some toggles for the active noise cancellation and for the ambient sound. Give us the ability to control them from within the app, or to even have the ambient sound stay on all the time. So where it isn't just a quick attention mode, but one where you could just leave it on by default. So you can keep your headphones on, listen to a podcast, maybe at a lower volume, and you can still be aware of your surroundings at all times. That would be kind of cool to see. So hopefully Razer sees this as constructive criticism, maybe something that they could take back to the engineers. It would be just some cool things that they could do in order to improve the user experience overall when using the app and when using these headphones. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the rest of the features that I do like about these headphones. So first up, connection. So these are running Bluetooth 4.2. Now, before you start yelling at me in the comment section that these don't have Bluetooth 5, let me tell you something. As far as Bluetooth 4.2 and Bluetooth 5 is concerned, you are not going to be able to tell the difference. So the only main difference as far as I'm concerned between those two Bluetooth versions is going to be Bluetooth 5 has lower power consumption. So as far as connection goes, no issues with Bluetooth 4.2. As far as range, no problems whatsoever. You're still getting 35 to 45 feet, so no issues as far as that is concerned. As far as latency or anything like that, when watching video, you're not going to experience any sort of latency. YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, any of that stuff, no problem whatsoever. Now, with gaming, when you're playing first-person shooters like PUBG, Fortnite, Call of Duty, things of that nature that people are always in my comment section asking me about, yes, you're still going to experience latency. Yes, doesn't matter which headphones it is. Yes, true wireless, doesn't matter. You're still going to experience latency when you're playing those types of games. So if you don't want any latency, if you're really competitive at those games, stick to the wired earbuds. Seriously, take my advice as far as that's concerned. But overall connection quality is not going to be a problem for you. And then last but not least, on the connection, you also have a 3.5mm jack, and they do include the aux cable in the box. So if you want to run them in wired mode where you don't want to use them in Bluetooth mode, you can totally do that. And if you have them in wired mode and you still have battery on the headphones, you can still use active noise canceling if you wish. And then speaking of battery, that brings us over to the battery life of these headphones. Now, these are running USB Type-C for charging, and a full recharge from zero takes just about 4 hours. As far as playback time, they claim 25 hours with active noise cancellation turned on. In my own testing, they actually exceeded that expectation. So they actually came in at 26 hours and 24 minutes with ANC turned on, and that was at 75% volume. So that's pretty impressive. I'm sure with active noise cancellation turned off, you could probably pull out closer to 30 hours easily on these headphones. And then let's talk about the build and the comfort. So as far as the build goes, these obviously look very similar to the Sony WH-1000XM3 headphones. So similar overall aesthetic. So you still have that very clean look, very clean build. You have the swivel, rotatable, and folding ear cups as well. Excellent padding on the headband, excellent padding on the ear cups themselves as well. So, you know, when it comes to comfort, no problems whatsoever for long listening sessions. It was not a problem. They're very lightweight, but they don't have a cheap feeling to them. So it's something that you could wear for long sessions and it's not gonna weigh you down, it's not gonna weigh on you. So that's probably one of the better things. And that's one of the things that also makes them feel very similar to the Sony headphones. Now, you can get these headphones just like this in this midnight blue, but they are also available in black, so you do have those two color choices. But overall, in my opinion, I really like this clean overall design. Now, the only thing that I would have changed, I would have removed those THX logos off the side. Now, no hate on THX, and I know that they have to advertise it, but I would have moved that sort of somewhere on the headband, like where it says Razer, put THX right there, make it a little more clean, a little more, you know, I guess a little more discreet, and then keep the ear cups themselves totally clean. I think it would have been a better overall look, but that's just me. As far as the control scheme go, you're not going to find any touch controls or any of that weirdness on here. These are straight up button controls. On one side, you're going to have the active noise cancellation with the ambient sound mode. On the other side, you're going to have your play pause, answer and phone calls, your volume rockers, and your skip track forward and back. So overall, very clicky, very easy to find with your fingers, and very easy to learn and use. No worries about accidental touches or any of that nonsense that you get sometimes when you have touch control. And then that's going to bring us over to the microphones and the call quality. So these do have built-in microphones. So if you want to take phone calls or make phone calls with these headphones, you can totally do that. But before we move any further, let me go ahead and play you some call quality samples. And this way you can be the judge of whether or not this call quality is going to work for you. All right, so here we have the call quality test for the Razer Opus wireless headphones. Testing, 1, 2, 3. So this is what the call quality would sound like if you take or make phone calls with these headphones. And here's what these headphones would sound like with some crowd noise being played in the background. So testing, 1, 2, 3. This is what they would sound like with a bit of crowd noise. As always, you got to be the judge of the call quality down in the comment section. So now let's go ahead and segue over to the active noise cancellation and the ambient sound of these headphones. As far as active noise cancellation goes, these are a mid-range headphone. By that, I mean these come in right around the $200 price mark. So they are not designed or made to compete with the Sony XM3s that are coming in at $350, or the Bose 700s coming in at $400, or any of the top range active noise canceling headphones. But with that said, the active noise canceling on these is quite strong and very good. I was actually quite impressed. Now, it isn't going to give you that level of noise canceling like you're getting from the top dogs, but it is better than most of the other headphones in the budget price range or even in the mid-range. I was truly impressed. And one of the things I like about the active noise canceling on these is the way that it is applied. So when you activate it, it isn't like an on and off switch where it just hits you with cabin pressure. It like slowly builds up to the full ANC, and then you're just slowly in it. And I think that's a cool way of doing it. I don't think I've experienced that before with any other headphone. So I thought that was kind of well done in my personal opinion. It's like a little bit of attention to detail, but you wouldn't think you would notice it, but I totally noticed it, and it's appreciated. And then as far as the ambient sound goes, it's sort of a quick attention mode type of deal. So it's where you have to hold the ANC button and then you can hear what's going on around you. Like if somebody approaches you to talk to you, you can hold it and you can hear what's going on. Well, as soon as you let it go, it goes right back to the previous mode. Now, I really would have liked it, just like I said before, I really would have liked it if they would have had a feature where you can just leave it turned on all the time. I think that would have been kind of cool, but unfortunately that's not there. But as far as just the sound quality of it goes, it's actually pretty good. You can totally hear your surroundings. You can hear street noise. You can hear cars going by. You can hear people speaking to you. So it does work very well as far as that is concerned. So overall, for active noise cancellation and the ambient sound, actually very, very good and puts them perfectly in this price range. Now, that's going to bring us over to the volume and the sound quality of these headphones. Now, I'm going to do this in two stages. We're going to do this in wireless mode and we're going to do this in wired mode. So first up, wireless mode. volume wise, I'm gonna have to give these like a 6.5, 7 out of 10. So not the loudest I've heard, not the quietest, but if you're a volume junkie, or maybe if you're hard of hearing, these might not be enough for you. So I would really love to have seen maybe 2 more steps of volume, maybe like a 3 or a 6 dB boost overall, and it really would have made these shine. So for me, it's more than enough. I can listen to these 80, 90%. It's not gonna be that big of a deal. But if I'm watching a movie with lower dialogue and I have to dial it up, there's just not that much overhead there. So it would have been nicer to see that. And then as far as in wired mode, so in wired mode, I ran these through the quad LGV40, and I also ran them on my stack over here on my desk. And overall in wired mode, that's where you really get the volume out of these. It seems like the drivers, maybe they need a little more juice and a little more power than the batteries are providing, but once you have them wired in, they sound much better. The volume goes up to easily an 8 or a 9. So you can really get some more juice out of these, and the sound sounds very, very good. So in wired mode, definitely better sound quality. Now, mind you, this is going to be on a phone with like an LG quad DAC, something that's going to have more power. So if you have like a dongle DAC, or if you have something that's going to give it a little more boost, perfect. But if you're going to be running these on a phone that has, you know, not a very good quality onboard DAC, then you're not going to hear this extra volume that you get out of them in wired mode. So just keep that in mind. As far as sound quality goes, in wireless mode, excellent. Now, these headphones are not for bass heads. So if you're somebody who looks for that bass rattle, if you like that extra bass, that thump where they shake on your head and all of that stuff, these are not the headphones for you. You need not apply here. These are a very balanced sound. So with that said, they still have bass. It is very accurate, it's very tight, it's very precise, but it doesn't bleed or hurt the mids where these really shine. Very smooth, you get your male vocals, your female vocals, sounds awesome. You got good treble, good clarity to the treble as well. So if you're listening to instruments, rock music, or classical even, or oldies, Motown, blues, R&B, all of that stuff sounds very, very good on these headphones. When you listen to them in wired mode, this is just amplified literally. So when I'm running them on my amp, when I'm running them on the LGV40, it's just giving you a little bit of extra bass also, but the mids and the clarity still stay there. It all just really comes to life with the extra juice of the amplification. So to me personally, the Razer Opus, they actually sound a lot better to my ears in wired mode than they do in wireless mode. So that's sort of where I stand as far as the sound quality is concerned. Wired mode, they obviously sound better. Wireless, they still sound very, very good. But unfortunately in wireless mode, the volume can be a little bit low for some people. So overall, would I recommend you go out and pick up the Razer Opus headphones? Absolutely, but keep this in mind that this isn't the type of sound that most people are used to. Most of the headphones on the market are giving you a heavy bass boosted sound. So this is not that. This is a completely different flavor of headphone. So comparing these to those types of headphones is really not a very good comparison. That's sort of like comparing apples to oranges. We're talking two completely different flavors because this is a very balanced, tight, more accurate type of sound, whereas the other stuff is very bass boosted and treble boosted, that V-shaped type of sound. So very, very different for very, very different listeners. But I have to give kudos to Razer because they came with something totally different and unexpected. So whereas a lot of the Razer gaming headsets have a lot of bass and a lot of thump, these, they really tamp that down to give you a much more accurate and much more, almost a more critical type of sound, which I was truly surprised by. So if you're not into that other type of sound, that bass boosted and all of that stuff, then these are going to be an excellent choice for you. But if you do like all that extra bass and all of that, there's nothing wrong with that. But these are just not going to be the headphone for you. So you really got to see which type of sound you prefer and then choose accordingly. So with all that said, I hope you have an awesome week. Stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, wear a mask, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.